Hi, it's Siobhan from enjoyrunning.net. Today I want to talk about a question that often puzzles me as I run, and this is the question, how fast should I be running? Now, of course, that does depend a bit on what your training session's about, but I'm going to use a few props today to draw your attention to some facts about our running speed that might make you think a bit about how fast you should be running. Okay, so let's turn to these props. This one is from the American College of Sports Medicine. This one's from the Lydiard Foundation, and this one is from the UK Athletics Endurance Runner course. So, first of all, let's have a look at what the American College of Sports Medicine says. Well, there are some nice pictures here, which I hope you can see. I'll bring the camera a little closer, and I'll read you those. Basically, at the bottom where it's nice and blue, you have very low activity, and activity increases as we go north, so from what they call level 1 to level 10. And this is the rating of perceived exertion. So each one of us can score our exertion or how we're feeling about, say, the speed we're running on a scale of 1 to 10. This is the modified Borg scale. Gunnarsson Borg developed this scale years ago, and this is the modified Borg one essentially. So basically, if you're sitting on the sofa watching television and you're really relaxed, you'll have an activity level of 1, and as you can see, it's pretty relaxing, and so is level 2. You're quite comfortable, and you could actually be running or walking when you were at this level, very slowly, and it's the sort of forever pace. And sometimes when you're out running, a thought might come into your head saying, I could keep this up forever. This is just really easy. By the time you're moving up to level 3, you're beginning to concentrate a bit. You're still very comfortable, and at level 4 also, although you'll be working a little harder there, you might be sweating a little, but you still feel really good and you can carry on a conversation quite comfortably. However, when we get into the yellow and then the orange and then the red, it becomes increasingly difficult to say that you're comfortable. You might still be talking at level 5 and indeed at level 6, but it's becoming quite tough. You're having to focus a bit. By the time you're getting up to level 7 and 8, and beyond that, certainly, you definitely aren't that interested in talking. And often I say to people, how can you tell you're at level 8, 9 and 10? Well, basically you're just not interested in talking, and you're thinking things like, I wish this person would be quiet. And this is a fairly easy way, based on your breathing, your ability to talk to people, how you're feeling, and the pictographs are quite useful. They give you an indication of how fast you're running in terms of how your body's experiencing that, because everybody's speed, of course, is completely individual in terms of their comfort. I might run at a certain speed and feel, say, level 3 there. Somebody else might be running much faster and still be at level 3 for them. So it's not a pace, this is your experience. I often suggest to runners that they should be doing their long runs in the 2 to 4 range and jogging 2 to 3. And if we look over to the UK Athletics chart, you can see here the red line is the percentage of the heart rate max, because again, people often say to me, my watch says such and such a heart rate and that, and what does it mean? Or Garmin or Strava may give me effort or suffer scores or whatever, and what does this all mean? Well, if we just look at the percentage of the heart rate max, the red line, as our effort increases, our heart rate rises. So for example, if you're doing that recovery run in zone 1, your heart rate, it might be much lower. In fact, it might be 70% or even lower. but certainly between 70 and 75% you would be in your recovery zone, and then your easy run would be up to about 80% maximum heart rate. After that, you're at the higher aerobic levels, and you're beginning to be up here at level 4 or 5. When we go higher than that again, so up towards 85% maximum heart rate, that's supposed to be around where this lactate turn point is, where your body starts to accumulate lactic acid and you go anaerobic. So your tempo runs, your anaerobic intervals, and your anaerobic speed are certainly up there in the higher heart rates. And why does your experience feel a little, as these chaps over here with the faces are showing, a little bit awful, especially when we got up to 9 and 10, it's usually because you are getting more acidotic. Your blood lactate levels increase, and although we can use lactate in the body as an energy source, it's not a great energy source. We can use it in our Cori cycle to make energy, but it's not very efficient. And in fact, the hydrogen ions that come from the lactic acid that's produced make us feel increasingly nauseated and horrible. And you can push it past the point of feeling horrible to doing something active about being horrible. So why should we do most of our training runs, especially our long runs and our easy runs, down in the blue and green? And maybe the bottom, certainly I would suggest in the green zone and the top blue zone would be the best places. Well, actually, there's just a very simple reason. And that is that when we are making energy aerobically, aerobic metabolism, we produce a total of 36 ATP molecules. But when we go over to the anaerobic zone, we produce a net of 2. And if you look up what ATP is, it is essentially the energy source for your body. It is what your muscles use to maintain activity and what all your body processes use as a source of energy. And without going into any biochemical details, I think that we would all agree that 36 is much, much bigger than 2. So if I said to you, you could do a job where they'd pay you £36 an hour, or you can do a job which will pay you £2 an hour, I think you could work out which job to take. So for that reason alone, it is better that we are running aerobically than anaerobically. We simply can access a lot more of the energy that our body needs by remaining aerobic. Right, I'm going to finish today's video at that point, but I'm going to go on in the next few videos to talk a little bit about how we can run faster yet remain aerobic, because that's the trick really, to have the job that pays us £36 an hour rather than the one that pays us £2 an hour, but actually be able to hold down that job. Okay, see you next time.